as scientists, we're actively encouraged to communicate and to get stuff out into the public sector. Certainly, social media is incredibly important for a scientist. We're all very big believers in using Twitter and things like that to communicate really interesting scientific breakthroughs. But in this case, there's times and places, and certainly government information should not be going out into those means. As cool as a recent graduate may think some of that information is. I think as someone coming out of university should review all of your privacy settings. What you want to say to your friends and the funny memes you want to share with them are totally appropriate if they're on a private setting and not anyone can see them. If you want your interview panel to Google your name and see your Facebook page come up, you really think hard about what is publicly available on your Facebook profile. So really think about locking down those type of settings. The other thing to think about is once you've gotten a job, it's not necessarily appropriate to put up on your Facebook where you work. And there's a lot of areas of government where they don't want the workplace splashed all over something like social media and associated with particular individuals. Again, like I said, as a scientist, we try to balance our use of Twitter, again, with the appropriateness of our workplace. And so you can have a personal Twitter handle, but you've really got to think about what you might be sharing on there if it's obvious that you're affiliated with a particular workplace. So us as scientists are happy to share our publications, our papers, our conference attendance, everything that is approved by our workplace in a public environment can then go on our Twitter. Certainly you could check in at an airport and say that you're on a work trip, but you wouldn't be saying, I'm on a work trip to go down to Canberra to speak to the government about a particular issue. So it's all about just managing that level of information that you put out there. And it's very easy to do if you apply that logic. I think it's really important to remember that you do need that type of approval for even scientific publications, which I think as a scientist coming from an open environment like a university is a little bit difficult to get your head around. And sometimes, unfortunately, we can't publish. And that's purely because if a disease is so rare that it makes the patient identifiable, then we can't put out that paper unless there's permission from the patient. So there's times and places that you really have to think about just what information is communicated into the public sector.